Pickle prepping planet.
Aliens and EMPs. Could 90% of the population really be wiped out? Picture this. It's a quiet evening, and you're scrolling on your phone when suddenly everything stops. The power flickers, your phone dies, and the streetlights vanish into darkness. At first, you think it's a typical blackout, but within seconds you realize this is something else. No phones, no cars, no emergency services, nothing works. You're thrust into the Stone Age in an instant. This is the reality of an EMP, or electromagnetic pulse, unleashed on Earth. And if aliens were behind it, we'd never even see them coming. An EMP isn't a Hollywood fantasy. It's a scientifically proven phenomenon capable of wiping out civilization as we know it. The scariest part? If the grid goes down, experts warn that 90% of the population could be dead within a year. Let's delve into the grim details of what such an event would really mean for humanity. The first few minutes. Instant chaos. An EMP would hit with no warning. It doesn't make a sound, doesn't light up the sky. Its devastation is silent and total. Planes filled with passengers would plummet to the ground, killing tens of thousands instantly. Cars would stall on highways, leaving people stranded in massive, sprawling traffic jams. Pacemakers and other critical medical devices would stop working mid-operation, instantly claiming lives. Hospitals? Completely powerless. Imagine doctors struggling to perform surgeries with no lights, no machines, and no tools beyond what they can hold in their hands. The once reliable hum of modern technology would fall eerily silent. The first 24 hours. Society shatters. The night after the EMP would be one of pure terror. With no electricity, there's no communication, no news, no government updates, no emergency broadcasts. Cities would be plunged into pitch-black darkness, their streets ruled by confusion and desperation. Looting would begin within hours as people raid stores for food, water, and supplies. Gunshots would echo in the distance as violence erupts. But that's just the beginning. Without refrigeration, food would spoil almost immediately. Gas stations wouldn't work, meaning no fuel for anyone, not even emergency responders. Fire departments couldn't fight fires. Police couldn't coordinate. People trapped in elevators or subway tunnels would remain there, unseen and unheard, their fate left to their dwindling air supply. The first few weeks. The descent into horror. Within weeks, the world's supply chains, those intricate systems that keep grocery stores stocked and water flowing to your taps, collapse entirely. Grocery stores would become wastelands. Those who hoarded supplies would be targets, as their hungry neighbors would stop at nothing to survive. Clean drinking water would disappear. Municipal water systems depend on power to pump and treat water, meaning millions of people would have no access to safe water. Cholera, dysentery, and other deadly diseases would spread like wildfire. In the cities, the smell of death would fill the air as bodies, unburied and untreated, begin to decay. Hospitals would turn into morgues, and morgues into mass graves. People would fight, kill, and steal just to secure a single meal or bottle of water. The first few months. Starvation and collapse. By now, starvation would grip the population. Without fuel to power farm equipment, crops would rot in the fields, and food production would halt entirely. Urban areas would descend into full-scale anarchy as people compete for any remaining resources. The weak would die first, the elderly, the sick, and those dependent on medication like insulin. But soon, even the strong would fall as their bodies wasted away from hunger and disease. Entire regions of the world would be reduced to desolation. The only survivors would be those prepared for this nightmare, people with stockpiles of food, access to clean water, and the skills to live off the land. But even they would face a grim existence, fending off desperate intruders and scavenging what little remains. Why aliens might choose an EMP. If an alien race wanted to take Earth, they wouldn't need to destroy cities with bombs or engage in open combat. They could disable us with an EMP, leaving humanity to tear itself apart. By the time they arrive, there'd be no organized resistance, no military, no governments, no way to fight back. The human race would be reduced to scattered, starving survivors, too broken to even comprehend their arrival. Think about it. Why waste resources on a direct invasion when you can let humanity destroy itself? A single EMP would strip us of our greatest strength, our technology, and turn it into our greatest vulnerability. How real is this threat? EMP technology exists today. Nations like the US, Russia, and China have explored its devastating potential. A single high-altitude nuclear detonation could blanket an entire,